So first I want to talk about the functions of the integument. The integument is just another name for skin, which is also called the cutaneous membrane. So skin protects us. It protects us from UV radiation, which can be damaging, like causing cancer by damaging DNA. It protects us from water loss, so it's a waterproof barrier that keeps our water on the inside. It also protects us from invasion from foreign materials like bacteria and fungi. And also keeps chemicals out of our body too, so it's a very good protective barrier. The skin is also involved with excretion. Maybe you've heard that sweat can contain excretory compounds such as lactic acid and salt. The skin is highly involved with thermal regulation. One of the obvious functions here has to do with sweating, which I'll talk more about in another video. But skin does play another role with thermal regulation, and this has to do with the blood vessels found in the layer of the skin called the dermis. So when you become warm, when your blood temperature starts to increase, the hypothalamus in your brain will send signals to your blood vessels in your skin, especially in the dermis, causing those to dilate, they get bigger. And this allows the heat from your blood to dissipate into the environment, helping to cool you. Likewise, when you're cold, those same blood vessels in the dermis of your skin will constrict and they pull further away from the surface of your body, trying to keep any heat that's inside of those blood vessels closer to the center of your body where you can maintain that warmth better. The skin is also involved with synthesizing something. So to synthesize means to make, right? And your skin makes vitamin D. Vitamin D is a conditional vitamin, and what that means is that you don't actually have to eat it in your food if you are getting enough sunlight. So your skin produces vitamin D, which is really important for maintaining blood calcium homeostasis. And your skin is also involved with detecting. It can detect pain, temperature, and touch. Now, skin has two primary layers to it. The outer or superficial layer, if you will, is called the epidermis. And the epidermis is composed of stratified squamous epithelial tissue. So it's many cell layers thick, right? And it's made of epithelial cells called keratinocytes. And I'll spend a lot of time talking about the epidermis in this video. The layer of skin that is deep to the epidermis is called the dermis, right? Epidermis. Epi means upon, right? So the epidermis is upon the dermis. So this inner or deeper layer is called the dermis, and it's made of connective tissues. And within these connective tissues, we find lots of accessory structures to skin embedded there, like sweat glands and the roots of hair and blood vessels. So I talk about the dermis and its associated structures in another video. There's another layer that's closely associated with the skin, and this is called the hypodermis. So as the name suggests, hypo means below. So the hypodermis is found below the dermis, or deep to the dermis. It is not considered a layer of the skin, though. And the hypodermis has different names. It's also called the subcutaneous layer or superficial fascia. This layer is important. I do talk about it in the same video where I talk about the dermis. So in this picture here, we can see the epidermis on the surface of the skin, right? And then deep to that is the dermis. And you can see the dermis looks a lot busier than the epidermis. And then deep to the dermis, we find the subcutaneous layer or hypodermis.